Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 75 of the Own the Moment podcast. My name is TJ Lasig. I'm one of the co-founders here at OTM, and it is Run It Back week. I've got the fresh haircut. I've got the low clock. We're ready to fire on all cylinders tonight. With me, as always, we've got Justin. Justin, what's going on?
God, you are feeling it. You just see yourself in a camera with a good haircut, and you just got this extra pep in your step. Love it. I'm pumped. I've gotten some. Let's see. We had birthday packs. I didn't win one of those. We got a trip in Milwaukee. I didn't win one of those, but it's okay. Thursday's coming. I'm feeling it. I got 3 chances at the queue. Worst case scenario, I'm getting an archive pack. How we doing?
Oh, yeah. It's a great week ahead. And for a great week, we've got a very special guest. This is a man that is deep into the Top Shot streets, putting together some excellent content over on YouTube along with us, and basically coming out with multiple videos every single week. We have TST, Top Shot Talk, with us tonight. What's going on, my man?
How's it going? Really, thanks for having me on here. I've been a big fan. You guys were one of the first pods I listened to way back in February. So it's an honor to be on here and happy to talk some Top Shot with you guys.
Feels like an eternity ago. I think you're now the second Canadian to be a guest here. We had LG on from First Mint. I think this makes you Canadian number 2. So
let's go.
We've had
all right. I'll kind of.
We've had Veerman. Veerman's up there too.
Veerman's
Yeah.
Canada too. Toronto. Yeah. There's a lot of Canadians in the Top Shot streets. I love
There's
it.
a bunch.
We got a ton of Canadians, and it makes that Raptor set really a little more hard to get.
Awesome.
I think so. Yeah, I've been to a Raptor game or two. I went to a playoff game when they played the Cavs a while back. I think of all of over the past, I'd say 5 or so years, you've got a lot of these arenas are trying to build experiences outside of the stadium too. And I think the Raptors have, without a doubt, the coolest name for the area outside, Jurassic Park.
We also started it too. Most other places copied it after us. That I'm pretty sure we started that whole outdoor thing. Other places have definitely kind of maybe perfected or whatnot, because it's not actually a great area. It looks awesome on TV, but it's super narrow. It's like a narrow street. So it'll go back for blocks sometimes, but it's not that great from a viewing standpoint. Like Milwaukee has a pretty awesome one at their new stadium too. That's outdoor, or Deer District, but it does look sweet on TV.
Deer District just doesn't have the same thing as Jurassic Park though.
No.
Come on, it's great. And yeah, I mean, and nice thing about basketball is a lot of the year, I guess the second half, you get the better weather, because you definitely don't want to be up in Toronto for when the season's kind of starting. Because in Tampa, we've got Lightning play, and they've got a Thunderbolt area, and it's always fun to do. People bring the lawn chairs and stuff. But hey, prop to Canada, though, for starting the way, though, because without a doubt, you guys take advantage of the weather when it is nice more than just about anyone else. Your country, it's the Chicago of the United States. Yeah,
exactly. And it definitely makes you appreciate the warmer weather all the other time. So
happy Thanksgiving.
Justin's got the Florida weather.
I do, but it is Canadian Thanksgiving today. So I don't know the backstory.
What does that entail? What is
turkey dinner, basically.
Okay.
Pretty similar, just no football tradition, really. We get football because we do it. Our holiday's on the Monday, so you either do the dinner on the Sunday or the Monday, and then other than that, there's no huge difference. Turkey dinner is the big thing.
Do you have any backstory where these white men and these American or Canadian Indians became best friends, and they shared corn over the table that it's completely fabricated, and really it was a lot of
Not quite, but I don't know. There's not really much story to it in that regards. I don't think they try to hide it that much, but that same kind of thing kind of trickled in. We have, as dark of a history up here as down there with there. So we just didn't, I don't think, had as much of a story to tell and pretend that things were all right, but we had just as bad going on up here. So
love it. Well, yeah, we're going to get into everything about running back tonight. We're going to talk, a little bit about NFL and Dapper some more, talk through the Flowverse, open up some packs, of course, at the end, spinning the wheel, all of that good stuff. But first, TST, I'd like you to give a little intro to the people of kind of how you got involved in the Top Shot space. I don't know that I've personally heard your story, but you've got a very successful channel and such going now. So if you want to just talk, I know you're a basketball fan, how you got into Top Shot and how you got where you are today.
Yeah, so I guess I'm one of the kind of the waves that came through like strictly basketball fandom. Wasn't into crypto or other NFTs or anything like that. Wasn't one of the DFS people that came in through who is it, Bales or whatever. I first heard about it on the Ringer NBA show with Kevin O'Connor, and I heard about it once. They brought it up. Verno brought it up. Okay, I heard about it. That sounds pretty cool. Didn't act on it. They brought it up a second time. I'm like, okay, I got to check this out. So I went on it, blah, 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 started looking at it. And this was like a couple of weeks before Cool Cats won. And then, you know, I think a stress test was coming or Cool Cats 1 was coming. So I'm like, okay, I want because it was just the queues were a shit show, right? There was no queue. It was like just mash the button thing. And I was like, I can't not have my credit card already set up, because that might make me miss. So I'm going to make a purchase first. So I think I bought like a Fred VanVleet for like $2. It was like his 15K. And I bought that. And then I remember looking, I'm like, I have the highest sale. Like I got ripped off. I bought this for $2. Like I was like, I got ripped off. Blah, blah, blah. I was like, whatever. I just want my credit card in there so that I can get my pack and it'll be good or whatever. I think the first pack I got, if it wasn't a stress test, it was that Cool Cats 1, but it was like the messed up way because like they did it in 2 drops. It was like such a shit show that they emailed some people and were like, actually, we reserved a pack. So I wasn't actually successful. I got like it through that way. Got that pack, opened it up, and I was pretty much hooked from then on. I have a bunch of friends that are in like computer science and stuff, and they're all working tech jobs. And I was like, man, like there's not that many people making content or whatever. Did some digging around. Then I ended up finding that, you know, Evaluate Market was around. You guys weren't around yet. You guys were just doing the pod and everything. And I was like, okay, there's already some sites. I was like, but there's not really anyone on YouTube making just like informative videos. Like there was a lot of shows, like you guys were around. The First Mint, LG was doing his show. Other people were still like on Twitch streaming, but Jen was doing like her weekly updates. Fleo was like blogging. And then all the other was just like, this is how you're going to get rich. And it was all like other YouTubers just being like, you know, I 100x, watch me go from $10 to $1 million and all this. And I was just like, no one's actually like talking about like the cool things that are going on or like the market in itself. They're just saying like, watch me do this and watch me get rich. So like, I just made a video and like, it was like half a joke. I sent it to my friends that I talked to him about, and like, I didn't even tell them I did it. I just sent them the link, and then they just lost it in our group chat because they find it hilarious. And I'm like pretty shy and reserved guy. So like me doing this is like the last list of people that they thought would have been doing it. I'm a teacher. It was my March break. So I like started making videos on my March break, like kind of like I put one out every day or every 2 days at that point. And I was like, nah, like this isn't going to pick up. I'm just going to stop after this. And then like, I was like, okay, if I get this many views, I'll do another. And then it started rolling. And then I was like, okay, if I get 500 subscribers by the end of the month, I'll keep doing this. And then I was already at 1,000. And I was like, okay, now I'm just obsessed.
Now I have to keep doing it.
Yeah. I was like, okay, I guess this is what I'm doing. So a lot to the girlfriend, wifey's chagrin. I've been doing it since.
And my favorite is that in the story, he mentioned March break, because I guess down in the United States, we call it spring break because it's actually starting to get warm. But for you guys, it's just like, no, it's just March. Maybe in May it'll get warm, but
we go on ski trips on our March break.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I love it. Yeah. You know, and I remember from like the early days, I think the thing that stood out to me the most about your videos was it was more just, I think, the simplistic nature, like your ability just to kind of break things down on a very like, hey, so here's what's going on. Here's what I think about it. And not like telling people what to do, and definitely not like, hey, showcasing, or as you're saying, like that get rich. But it was just the kind of, and you know, I didn't put it together at the time, but it makes sense. Oh, look, this is a teacher. This is someone who, for a job, knows how to take complex subjects and explain them and simplify them so that I can more easily digest them. And so natural or not, like I'm sure that had an impact on your just kind of storytelling and ability to create these videos. So I think that's awesome.
Yeah, for sure helped. And it might have also helped that I'd done online teaching for a year and had to, so like, who knows, maybe that was why I was a little like more comfortable in front of the camera and everything as well. So, but yeah, definitely explaining math or science to, teenagers that are half asleep might have been some of the reasons that I was all right at this, I guess.
Have you ever used like a Top Shot case study, marketplace, game dynamics, game theory dynamics in your classes, in your teachings?
No, I've used basketball often.
Okay.
Even if it's just like something like coming up for like context or names in like a math problem or something when I'm writing a test. I also, what I did when I was like, maybe like last like April or so, my judgment of like if Top Shot was actually mainstream or not was whether or not the students knew about it. So these are kids that are talking to me about daily fantasy basketball. They're talking to me about basketball. They think it's cool that I'm into basketball and everything. And none of them ever knew about Top Shot. And I had like one kid that I was like, just let me know if a kid ever mentions NBA Top Shot to. And they're like, didn't even like, they went to the website, didn't even understand it, nothing. And I was just like, if you ever hear about this, just let me know. Cause I just want to know, because when it gets to them, then it's actually mainstream. And never heard anything. There was one that I knew, like another person told the kid about it, and that's why. But it wasn't like he found out through the kids and no one else knew about it. So like once kids are talking about it, that's when I think it's actually gone mainstream, because these are the same kids that are playing 2K and into all those different things.
This is the strategy. Steve's got the strategy down here for sure.
It's weird that there's always movies on pack drop days. I don't get it.
Direct correlation. If there's a pack drop, it's movie day.
Yeah, you always have to have a movie on hand for stress tests.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I heard you saying on the show that you believe you and John Boy say there might be a stress test over the next couple of days to get ready for the queue. So make sure you got that movie ready.
Yeah, that's it.
All right, here we go, everyone. We've got Run It Back coming to you on Thursday. Going to be 3 queues starting at 1 p.m. Eastern time. $169 to purchase, minting to $990, which it was the previous Run It Back was to $275. And then we also had the announcement of the new archive set, where we're basically going to get common moments that are from both this year's Run It Back year and the previous Run It Back sets. So I know there's some implications there when it comes to things like completing the team sets. But yeah, here's what we're looking at. Of course, whenever it comes to a pack drop, the big question is always around collector score requirements. So we have the priority queue, which is a collector score of 10,000. That's at 1 o'clock Eastern time. We then have priority queue number 2, 2,500 collector score. That will be 2 hours later. So at 3 o'clock Eastern. And then we have the general queue, just the 100 collector score needed. That'll be at 5 p.m. Eastern time. So here we go, kicking off the season the right way. Obviously got some big names in the mix here. We've got AI, we've got Shaq, we've got T-Mac, D-Wade, a lot of other legends in the mix here. What do you guys think? Ready for Run It Back?
Rookie CP3.
Wow.
That's still,
I guess I he doesn't come to my mind first just because we already have CP3, but yeah, rookie CP3 definitely a big one too.
And I don't know. We're like, Top Shot has done an improved job at this communication. There are still some things that we do not know, and it seems like a little of it is just by design, and a little of it is for whatever reason it just hasn't been made clear or announced. So, for example, we don't know how many moments are going to be in the archive. We're not sure the exact circulation count. We have a range of around 10, 20K. We don't know, how many or the players and such. And then I think just a weird dynamic around, and I guess hopefully we'll learn more before Thursday. Otherwise, we're just going to be doing it on the fly. But when do we get these archive packs? How do we get these archive packs? If I qualify for a priority queue, the top priority queue, am I guaranteed one? Or do I then have the same chance of getting one as anyone else in the general queue? If, there are more than the whatever 134K or however many people end up getting in line for after the first 2 of the general queue. I don't know. TST, have you thought about this? Like, do you have perspective, or are you just kind of on the wait and see approach here?
For the archive packs, they must be coming just after the general queue, just from a logistics standpoint. If they were to do it after the first or prioritize them, if you get a pack later on, then you shouldn't have that rebound archive pack. So my assumption is just that it's coming in that general queue. But based on the number of people that have been showing up for pack drops, I'm pretty sure most people will end up with one. And that's awesome for, everyone, as because these packs are going to be pretty cool too, I think. And so to get everyone to experience those packs at the same time will be a lot of fun. It's going to be wild on the marketplace with so many new players coming in. Some of these are the players that people grew up with and fell in love with basketball maybe during this era and whatnot. So it's going to be pretty cool, I think, but I would assume that they're just coming after that general queue to whoever's the next ones in line.
And then if you look at the bottom there, it does say that, hey, the general queue is when those 90,000 archive packs will come. So I don't believe there's going to be any preferential treatment for if you qualify. So as Steve mentioned down here, and as that it does say in the text there, so those 90,000 will come in the general queue. I do not believe there is going to be any advantage for if you were in priority queue 1 and priority queue 2, and now you're in general queue. But yeah, TSD, as you said, so I think it's 100, 32, 54, 140, 134. So something around 140K would have to, get in line and be willing to buy these. I would imagine that anyone who does line up will have the opportunity to, at worst, get an archive pack. And there's a lot of run it back as well. Like, there's a decent chance that, if you end up in any of the queues, you're going to be able to get, especially if you have a chance of getting one of the priority queues, you have a pretty good chance at getting one of these run it backs.
And of course, got to plug the collector score calculator here. So if you're looking to kind of get eligible for priority queue number 1 or number 2, definitely head on over to otmnft.com. Check out the collector score. If you're logged into your account, all you have to do is enter.
Let's make this fun, TJ. Is there anyone in chat that doesn't have the 10K that is trying to decide, like, if you want to, if you're close or something? If there's anyone that, hey, maybe you're close to getting the 10K or getting to that other priority queue and you haven't used this yet, you're not sure if you want, put your name in chat. What we'll do is we'll plug you in. Can you do it for some? I guess you can't do it for someone else.
I can't do it for someone else. We could do the scores, but it'll be based on my.
It'll be yours.
Collection.
That's fine.
That's fine.
Okay. My idea doesn't work then because of that, but yeah.
At a base level, if you're at 2,500 and you want to get to the 10,000, you just type in the score that you want, click on the calculate button, and then what we do is, I'm already there. So that doesn't work for me.
Out of zero.
Too high of a collector score to really see. Yeah. So there we go. If I want to get all the way up to here, it's going to show you the most efficient ways to do so pretty much every time. What that has to do is finding the most convenient teams for you to stack and then basically continuing to buy moments from those teams, because once you've completed the team set, you then get the collector score bonus for each additional moment that you add. So definitely a useful tool. And then, you don't always have to just go with the cheapest one. You can look at the different options and then kind of decide which route you want to take for your personal choice.
Right. And just at a high level, it's just an example, but I think it's decent to show. So theoretically here, you're at 2,500, and then we're including a marketplace bonus of 5,000. So obviously that comes into play here. But for you to get that extra 2,500, you need to spend, it looks like here we're saying 1,200 to also then, because you have the marketplace bonus baked in. That's why I think the beauty of this is being able to customize it for your own account, because this may not work for you because TJ already has 6 Magic or 6 Pelicans or 6 Rockets and such, and he already has the 5,000 marketplace spend. But all you got to do, it's completely free for everyone. So just make an account and then just go to the collector score. And I saw S. Hutchinson and I think was referencing his name earlier, or see Clutchinson. Take a look at it, Jordan. Let us know. It really is a value add from all the experience that people have said. I didn't know I was so close to completing it or to getting to that next level until I actually saw this. And I think otherwise you can definitely increase your collector score, but you're not doing it the most efficient way.
Yeah. Seeing just a couple of questions in the chat. Yes, it includes the marketplace bonus. So if you're logged into your account, it'll show your collector score, and then it will also show your pack drop collector score, which adds on any of the bonuses that you may have. So you can see that I'm getting 5,100, and I guess we don't get a Cool Cats bonus anymore. RIP NLL auto bid to every single pack drop. It was fun while it lasted. And yeah, so this will be personalized to your collection. And like Justin said, you'll see likely see different teams than me just because of the breakdown of the moments that you already have existing.
Yeah, here you go. Like Billy was saying, use the tool. It's without a doubt, I think the most just valuable thing going into pack drops, just for people to kind of easily see where they need to get to. And then you combine it with something like, John Boy has done some great stuff in his with regards to like expected value. I feel that these are all going to be substantially, highly valuable. I think we're looking at something in the range of north of 400 when I was doing a quick estimate there. It's hard to tell right now because we don't truly know what are in these packs too. But it is a very valuable pack if you're able to. But then you got to bake into account is how many people are actually going to get into line. What are your chances, likelihood of getting it? What are your versus your likelihood if you just go in the general queue, etc. There's a lot of things that can come into play.
Yeah, and then last thing, Jose asked does the additional marketplace bonus take into account? Yes. So as you purchase a new moment, you get an additional marketplace bonus. That is all factored into the calculation here. So and I see Neil in the chat. Yes, all of those are included. Sorry, I think I cut you off, DSD.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say I really appreciate this tool from a amount of DMs I get for people asking me to help them or whatnot. So not only, it's one thing to just, send people and tell them to log in and be like, okay, this is the most cost effective, but then it makes my job a lot easier when I'm explaining their different options, whether it's, just pursue a, series 2 bonus because it'll never go away. Do you have a favorite team? Do you have, of these teams? So I always use it to show them what are the cheapest S2 teams to do. And then, if you want specific to your account, I tell them to just log in. It tells them that. And then, I can just like lay the strategy on top of that. So it saved me a lot of time answering my DM. So I do appreciate that you guys made this tool. Also, what I would like to say is that can we hit the like button? The thing that I hate to do the most when I'm live streaming is ask for people to hit the like button. So when I'm a guest, I make sure that I tell them all to hit that like button. We need to do that. And if you're listening on the pod, make sure that you rate and review and subscribe to the pod, because that is where I first listened to OTM. So make sure you're doing that, because I hate, shilling that when I'm doing it. So I make sure I do it when I'm a guest.
What a hero. What a hero.
True professional.
I was listening to one of yours in the car with a wife, and you even referenced the Friday night, I think it was your most recent one, about how using the wife and the pain and the agony that we force upon them by taking these time to do these streams. And the least we can do is get a like out of you people. Come on. I think your Canadian audience, they're just so nice. They're just willing to just hand over those likes. TJ, he's got to ask these people to smash the like button and get all violent and stuff. Just nice little gentle tap.
Hit the like button, everyone. Do it now, right now. I've gotten bad at chilling. I need to get back on the chill train, but appreciate it, TST. So there we go. Collector score calculator. A little bit of a tangent there. But I do think that it's a very valuable tool when it comes to the pack drops, and just, even if you're unsure, it's good to look at and just check out what your different options are. All right, what else do we want to cover with Run It Back here?
I'm just pumped for it. No, I mean, I still don't think we're gonna get a Kobe. I still, right. And TSD seems to be in agreement. We kind of talked about this last time. I just don't think they come out so strong with the D weight as the beginning and then starting these like kind of slow waterfall release of the moments and stuff. Like the timing just doesn't work. I know some people are still hopeful and optimistic, but I guess I'm just saying this, like, reserve those expectations. It's likely not going to happen. I think sometime down the road, we'll very hopefully get a Kobe moment, but I don't think it's going to happen now. So just manage his expectations.
TST, what moments are you most excited for from this run it back set?
Like, I think it's going to be kind of those like weird ones you don't think of, just like to go back to like remembering watching so much basketball during that era and everything, and just like, oh, I forgot about that player was on that team. Obviously it won't necessarily be the players I want to pull in my pack unless I have like a specific attachment to them. But I think like just, seeing that random like fifth guy on a team that you were like, didn't really think of when you thought of the season as a whole, but you're like, oh yeah, I remember watching that guy or whatever. I think that'll just be fun with those, and probably will be more in the archive moments. So maybe I'm a little more excited for those. But from a like run it back perspective, like the stars are what like attracts us for these. There's not like one in particular. I'll be interested to see if they choose Gary Payton or not. I have a feeling that might be like the Hall of Famer they haven't mentioned, and they put him in. You can probably make the argument that they should hold off and have his Top Shot debut with the Sonics, but considering he won the championship that year, they might try to kind of paint that picture. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get him, and I guess I'd be a little disappointed if we got him. I'd love it to be, maybe back in the day with Sean Kemp instead. But I think it's going to be those like more fringe players that kind of get me excited to even like just remember those times.
Yeah. So in that season, there were 5 51-point games. Kobe had 2, LeBron had 1, Dirk had 1, and the 5th was Vince Carter. Do you think we get another Vince Carter one? And what impact do we think that has to the final shot?
So I think we definitely get a Vince Carter one. I mean, I hope we get the Alonzo Mourning dunk. He also had the crazy 360 layup. He had some other crazy dunks. That was when, he miraculously was no longer injured and all of a sudden could jump like the slam dunk contest again once he was no longer in Toronto. Still a little bitter. But I don't know that it'll affect that last shot too much. That's interesting from both like a historic standpoint, the whole Top Shot debut and all that. And then also just the team bonus perspective, that's going to be a bottleneck. And, his moment's not going to be with Atlanta, and he's not getting another one with Atlanta anytime soon. So I think that one holds value. And I think that moment's a little overrated, to be honest. It'll be interesting to see how we look back on this whole bubble thing. If we do look at that as like, oh, that was such an amazing time and that does add value, then yes, that moment is maybe accurately rated right now. But I don't know, like they all stopped playing the game and just let him shoot. I don't know. From a basketball highlight, it's not that amazing. From a historic standpoint, yes. And Vince Carter is super popular, and I get it. But once other Vince Carter moments are out there, then I think from a highlight perspective, that did not show off Vince Carter.
Yeah. Do you are you a full set owner for the Raptors? Do you believe we're going to see Villanueva? Because he had I think he had a 48-point game during all this, and he only had 1 year with Toronto. So that could be a very interesting one where if he, whether it's an run it back or an archive, it becomes, as you mentioned, like a bottleneck. It becomes for just that 1 year, but also he did have a 48-point game. Like that's a pretty legit deal.
Yeah, it was Charlie V's rookie season.
Right? Yeah.
So it could be pretty sought after. We were talking before, that the Raptors full set. There's tons of Canadians on Top Shot, so any sort of bottleneck for the Raptors team set could get pretty competitive. I wouldn't mind a Charlie Villanueva moment. I'd be upset if it was the run it back. I think. I mean, the obvious choice is that they pick Chris Bosh. I'm not huge in that. I would really want to collect that. I'd rather like a Alvin Williams or someone else from a Raptors fan perspective. But the Charlie Villanueva, because he had that big game, rookie, they could squeeze it in there.
I think it makes sense.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Oh, only
like
3 more days.
I like this. I like that take of some of the like players' moments that we're just gonna be like, oh, I remember that guy. That was fun times. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. Looking forward to it. All right, I think that's everything on the Run It Back front, so we have Run It Back, Justin, and then we have something called Rake Back. And there was some Rake Back talk.
May or
in
may
the
not be
Twitter
called Rake Back.
streets.
May or not, may not be.
Exactly.
We need to specify.
So what's wanted to dive a little bit into the whole Rake Back, or I should put that in quotations, Rake Back situation, because an interesting tweet thread from El Dumbo. I'll go ahead and I can pull that up if I can find it. I should have already found it, but I don't have it yet. But let me kick it to you, Justin, while I pull that up.
Yeah. So at a high level, I think it kind of it feels like it kind of came out of nowhere. But Luke, one of the great community reps, newer community reps for Top Shot, has done a fantastic job. Has been very active in the community, and I think is well respected, well liked by everyone, or by almost everyone. And so he put out a Twitter thread over this past weekend. I don't know if it was Friday, Saturday, but he basically gets a bit, I don't know, technical with his definitions and starts talking about Rake Back and wants us to kind of, basically he's trying to lower expectations or caution us that we shouldn't be calling it Rake Back, that it's not really Rake Back, that it's actually, rake comes from the poker phrase, which implies taking a fee, and usually a fee from hands and stuff, which is actually capped and stuff. And I didn't really understand why we were getting to such logistics, but it does feel like the Dapper Labs, the Top Shot team, knows that not too long ago, a few months back, they said that Rake Back would come before Run It Back series. And because Run It Back is coming Thursday, I think they kind of had, El Dumbo put this out as a bit of a preventative measure, knowing that, hey, we have Run It Back. We already told people that we were going to have this. I'm going to just keep using the phrase Rake Back because that's what it's, colloquially become known as. And so when obviously it's clear that's not going to be coming before Thursday, this thread kind of came into place of what I would have hoped and rather. And I think the main reaction that the community gave from what I was, reading and feeling the temperature of is, if you're going to change it and you're not going to provide this Rake Back before running back, obviously that's not ideal when you said you would, but explain that you're not going to and explain why. And just be honest, just be transparent. But trying to get into this conversation of, well, it's not actually Rake Back. We shouldn't call it Rake Back. It doesn't actually have to do with poker and stuff. I don't think that was that valuable of a conversation when at the end of the day, people just want an expectation for what they should expect. And if it was just a mistake and things have changed and there no longer is this, or it's going to be delayed or whatever that is, I think it would have been it would have been better received if people just have a better understanding of, why did we make the initial expectation that it would come during summer and it would come before Run It Back? What has changed and what should we expect going forward? I think those are the three key points that people really care about. And I think this one just kind of landed on a bit of deaf ears when, rather than actually discussing those three elements, it's more of just discussing the technicalities of whether or not we should call it Rake Back and what, I don't know. It was interesting.
Agreed. And, it'll be interesting to see if something of this form does still come eventually. I think if it does, it will definitely be a nice little stimulus into the marketplace.
Can we go to the top of it? And I just want to read through it. So then for people that might have missed it or people that are kind of following in the podcast later. All right. So Top Shot is at El Dumbo TS. And it's, let's have a little thread talking about Rake Back in parentheses. First, let's define a rake. It's the scaled commission fee taken by a card room operating a poker game. It's generally 2.5% to 10% of the pot in each poker hand up to a predetermined maximum amount. NBA Top Shot has a 5% seller's fee. It's paid by the seller, not every collector in the transaction, aka players in the pot. Likewise, it doesn't have a predetermined maximum amount. It's a flat 5% fee. We shouldn't call that rake. This is different to how rake functions. This might sound pedantic, but being clear on these terms helps establish and new collectors understand and stay aligned on these topics. Since we don't have rake at NBA Top Shot, we shouldn't use the term Rake Back. We simply don't have any rake to give back. But I thought the Rake Back was coming, in quotes. Okay, hold up. Here's what Roham said. Just like many marketplaces or exchanges, you should potentially receive a portion of the credit up to 5% back in sort of credits that you can then spend on other moments or otherwise. And also, The important thing here is to make sure any economic effects are positive and sustainable. So you'll see us being patient in terms of finding the exact right time to go live with bonuses and incentives. So what am I wanting to highlight here? Quite simply, that some form of bonuses or incentives or credit to collectors is coming, as said by Roham himself, and it will be retroactive, but we haven't laid out more specific or concrete details of how that will look. So why do I care about using rake back as a term? It's because it's both a misnomer and a way to set up false expectations. Rakeback systems vary so much between poker sites. The way it's calculated can differ. Some sites use affiliates, some don't. The key similarity is that they all charge rake to be able to offer rakeback. We don't charge rake. If you're a Top Shot collector, don't stress. It has been confirmed that something in the form of a credit back is coming. There is no timeline to share. Don't let it impact your day-to-day decisions. When we have news to share, we will share. So the first thing I have there is there's a, in the middle there, a specific part about Roham's quotes and stuff and how there's no timeline and we don't have anything concrete, but it does ignore that there was a timeline previously set. It was previously stated this would come before Run It Back. And, it ends with, Luke talking about how don't let it impact your day-to-day decisions. There's no timeline to share, but the challenge is, and I think why people feel a little just upset is this was announced when the market was in a very rough place. It was used as a way to kind of stimulate and to also give people that kind of hope and that expectation that someone was coming. So whether or not it was the intent, it was done in a way that that market did react to this rake back. We can see when it was discussed and how that market reacted, and people had increased confidence knowing that Top Shot was buying into the community aspect and was willing to kind of give back to its early adopters and community. So it's a little challenging here to hear that, hey, don't worry about this. It'll come when it comes, but let's focus on this terminology when I haven't heard a single person who really cares about the terminology aspect. They just care about that, hey, this is something that was said it was going to come. Is it going to come? What is it going to look like? And so forth. And I think it just comes down to people want the communication, the transparency, and they kind of feel like there was I don't want to say a rug pull, but I don't know, like a sleight of hand trick. Like while we're all
just
trying
being
to
walked back a little bit, I would say.
Yeah,
it seems like the statement's being walked back
but
just
in a tricky way, like by talking about this rake back when no one actually cares about the poker rake aspect. I guess that they're using that as a way to say, hey, we're not actually going to give that much money back because we don't charge rake.
Yeah. TST, any comments on the rake or lack thereof back situation?
I probably have the more unpopular opinion and have kind of been saying, well, not saying, but I used to do these videos that were the office hour recaps in which I would clip them and I would literally play what they said. And they often what happens is great notes are taken by amazing people in the community and they're put out, and then people interpret an interpretation, and then it gets run with in the community. And I think that's done disservice to the community in ways, but not to their fault necessarily, because it's not on purpose. And where Top Shot has maybe done a disservice is not nipping these in the butt earlier, and letting this kind of go rampant, and them knowing about it. Also, them saying, let's not call it rake back. They called it rake back. And I know that because I was going back through all the office hours today, and I was looking through every single one where they talked about this, starting with Roham's, in which in the timestamps on YouTube, it says marketplace fee refund or something of that sort. If you go like 3 office hours later, it says update about rake back in their timestamps. So I don't understand necessarily why this Twitter thread, they didn't just say, we're going to stop calling it rake back, or let's call it this instead. What we call it, or if they don't want to call it rake back, then okay, announce we called it that. We don't want to call it that. They called it that because that's what the community was calling it. And that's in office hours, they're answering questions from the community, but they were accepting it as that term, which really is irrelevant in the whole thing. The only clip that I didn't find, because I was going to clip this all together and put it out, is I haven't found the one that you're referencing, in which they do say in one office hours that it's coming before Run It Back. But I really want to listen to that exact clip, because that's what's written in people's notes. But it's very possible that they said we are looking for it to happen at this point, and then the community took that as that. And I'm not blaming the people that did the notes at all. Like, shout out to Jake and Bake. It's been amazing that he's been doing those for all that time. But where we just get dangerous is when people take, our interpretations of office hours as fact, and then they run with it. So I think there's just a little bit of caution. I'm going to look back when I have a little more time to find the actual clip and see what they said, because it is quite possible that they did say it, because in office hours, they have spoken what they thought was true information at this time and had to go back. But it's definitely, I think, a communication thing where they let this thing run rampant, and now they're trying to end it. But instead of just doing it, okay, it was called Rake Back, it's not called that, we're calling it this, or we're going to name it something later. And when we name it something later, you're going to also figure out what it is. But the whole time, I never thought that it was a 5%. And even in one office hours, Jacob went on saying that what people are talking about in the community is not true. And there is basically, we've gone beyond what it is. And just because, it is kind of accepted by the community doesn't mean it is true. But you know what? I think it's going to be more of a long-term thing where it's just like a credit back, like many other sites have. And that's kind of what Roam spoke about originally. And then it kind of has snowballed into this. But it hasn't really affected my decisions personally.
Right. No, I think that's fair. And I think one of the things you touched on is the way that communication has come about was heavily through these office hours. And these office hours, like, there was no transcription provided by Top Shot. It was depending on people who, have other day jobs and were just side of desk kind of listening to these and taking notes and sharing them, and they do get spread. And then those also would be shared often by members of like Dapper Labs and Top Shot, as like, hey, here are some great notes, like, thanks to this person. So there was that kind of confirmation bias as well, or at least not negating it. And like, so we talk about the Owners Club. TJ and I have had many conversations about this. We have 1,500, no more than 2,000 people, but we have been very particular about how we announce communication, because we've learned from what we've seen with Top Shot, where these one-on-one conversations in Discord, or even the ones that are kind of communicated on our shows, are similar with their office hours, like, things can very easily get confused. And I think they have learned and improved through their blogs, through The Economist putting stuff out. But having that clear single place for information is so important. And I think that needs to continue to be drilled down. And even an example is this Twitter thread about Rake Back. How many people actually saw that? Maybe 5-10% of like Top Shot users. But like, we're now trying to change the messaging around a topic that's been in discussion for months, I would say, but doing it through a community rep on his personal account, making this communication rather than, an official communication through a Top Shot blog or something like that. So I think this is still something that Dapper Labs is trying to figure out what's the best way to have this communication. And as I mentioned, they've had substantial improvement, no question. But I think that's where the lack of clear communication around this is probably why there have been these kind of confused expectations, and confused expectations almost always lead to disappointment somewhere.
Shout out to our friend of the show, Library, asking, if we're not going to use Rake Back, what are we going to call it? And then someone comes in the chat with Roham Rewards. So there we go. Roham Rewards. That'd be quite a fun name. But yeah, no, thank you guys. I think both very well thought out takes on this situation, and something that we're going to be keeping an eye on and agreed on everything with regards to the announcements and the communication channels. I think it's important to be as buttoned up as possible, and something that, like Justin said, we definitely try to do here. All right, we've got about 15 minutes left. I did want to touch on the Flowfest just briefly, because this is going to be beginning tomorrow. I was doing a little bit of research on it before the show. I know that LG from the First Mint is super involved in putting this together, but a little bit more of a behind the scenes look at some of the other projects that are going on in the Flow universe. Obviously, everyone's well aware of NBA Top Shot, a couple other projects out there that are maybe a little bit lesser known. Justin, what do you know about Flowfest?
Hi. It's good marketing. I'll go with that. So from what I understand, is that Flowfest is a way for I don't want to say underappreciated because it's not underappreciated, but it's just probably the lack of awareness around some of the flow projects that are out there. And there are some really cool projects that I only know a couple things about. And so when LG helped run the fest, first Mint Fest, there were a decent amount of kind of flow projects on there. And that's how I think a lot of us kind of first got, a baseline level of understanding or awareness around some of those projects. And so I think this is kind of the next step to be like, hey, Flow is this larger platform. Top Shot is obviously one major part of it, but Dapper Labs has this larger vision around Flow and wanting this to be kind of a blockchain for a ton of kinds of NFTs, DAOs, other applications. And so the way that I've kind of seen this is that through their Discord that they've created, they are basically creating buzz, using some guerrilla marketing, some kind of social media marketing aspects, getting the community to kind of do their sharing and engagement aspects. And in exchange, they're going to be providing these mystery packs. And we don't truly know what they are, but what my guess is that these mystery packs are going to include one-off NFTs from these various Flow projects that you're probably not familiar with. And so what do we get out of it? Well, the companies that are on Flow that are involved, they get increased kind of brand awareness. Maybe they can bring more people into their platform. They give out NFTs so that when I get this I don't want to say random, but this NFT that I'm not familiar with, oh, I get it. Now I can learn more. I can dig into it and see what it is. And so I think it's a cool way from what I've seen as just becoming more familiar with some of those under publicized, those Flow projects that we're not as familiar with. And I have a feeling they're going to continue to kind of do some cool entertainment, cool engagement, cool educational things, I'd say.
Yep, you guys can go definitely check that out. Maybe tune in over the next couple of days. TST, any thoughts on the Flow Fest? Do you have any hot takes on any of the other projects being built on Flow?
No hot takes. I will say I was in their Discord, not super early on, but fairly early on once it was like tweeted about in the Top Shot world or whatever. And it was like complete mayhem, but like in the good way. Like it was just like hectic doing this. They shut it down I think the smartest thing they do is that they shut it down between whatever 8 and 8, whatever time zone they're using. But it was absolute mayhem. You're trying to find a secret code. People are going crazy and all sort of what now is normal Discord kind of behavior where, the Discord's completely new to me from Top Shot. So if I think I would have transported myself a year from today into that Flow Fest, I would have said, what am I doing? What in the world am I doing today in this? But yeah, it seemed like a great marketing on that part. But it'll be interesting, very educational, I'm sure. So I'll try to pop in and check out different ones. And I think usually you can get some replay of that as well on Twitch. So I'll probably pick and choose some different ones to check out.
Yeah. And I mean, I have heard that people, have just been a little turned off by the invites and all the sharing and stuff that goes on there. I do appreciate, though, like in one of their shared contests, they specifically say like, hey, wow, the more invites you get, the more benefits or tickets you get, raffle tickets you get. They're also trying to be very conscientious around like, but if we catch you spamming these, then you're not going, then you get kicked out or whatever. So I think they're trying to kind of play that line of like, hey, what is the right level of marketing, social media strategy, trying to get people to kind of join in, because I think their belief is, hey, if we can bring people in, then those people are actually going to enjoy the product. So we're technically doing them a service. But at the same time, there's also that aspect of, okay, at what point is the invites aspect? Because I don't know. I think most people would agree. The worst part about the Discord experience nowadays is getting all the spammy and scammy. And I was unfortunately actually victim to a scam not too long ago. But like it's just bad. But yeah.
So what you're saying is that you're getting some Top Shot showcase vibes.
I think they learned their lesson on that one. That was a hilarious experience. I mean, and we also did something similar, not that bad, but we did something similar. Then we did what? Who was it? Oh wow, Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Looney Tunes. What's the name?
Space Jam.
Space Jam. There
Space
you
Jam.
go.
I was like, where are you going with this?
Yeah, with the free NFT, and we were Space Jam kind of followed them. We were like, hey, this is a great idea, and we'll use it as a way to get people to connect to the systems and test it to make sure that they're able to, hey, have the MetaMask and everything. So yeah, hey, definitely get it. But no, I trust I trust Luke. I trust the team behind there. I trust LG to kind of, hey, make sure that this is the right level. And from what I've seen, it's just been a very fun. I haven't gotten they have trivia and stuff in there, and there's some cool things. But
yeah, I think it'll be cool. I mean, LG honestly crushed it with that first Mint Fest, so I feel like that experience alone has me confident that they'll have this nice and well organized, and definitely will be checking it out personally. All right, I think it's about that time of the show. Any final comments, thoughts before we head to the pack opening portion of the show? On anything.
Let's do it. What are we opening? Who's opening? I don't know.
Yeah, let's see. I mean, so I've got a couple.
Okay.
I've got a couple. I'll open one.
Okay, cool.
TSD, you can or can't open one. It's completely up to you. I don't know what your pack situation is over there. I've got a WNBA, an NBA playoffs, and 2 base sets. What do you think?
Let's get a playoff.
Playoff? That's what I was thinking. Let's hit up the playoff pack. Hopefully I'll have a running back pack sitting in here this time next week. We'll be opening that on the show. That's the hope.
I know Coop's behind the scenes. Coop's been putting the names in the wheels. I know Malik is already trying to say he doesn't see his name on the wheel. Sills will be popping in soon, not seeing his either. But Coop is putting on the name. So wheel is being created right now.
Speak on up in the chat. If you want to be added to the wheel, we'll be gifting away one of these 3 moments from the 2021 NBA playoffs.
If only we could see who hits the like button and created a wheel that way, right? TST? That's got to be the best.
Actually, yeah, we need that functionality for YouTube. Just hammer the like button.
We actually have that ability. We definitely have that ability.
Yeah.
So make sure
you have to hit the like button. If you don't hit the like button, you're out.
And if you subscribe, you get 2 times the chances.
Yes,
that's right. Yep.
That too.
Hashtag rigged, ! We're good. Yep. Okay, cool.
Where are we starting, TST?
Left.
I like it.
Let's go. 9931.
Boban.
Ooh.
I love Bobby.
Yeah.
His time on the Sixers was just he's an absolute beauty, this guy.
And then he started doing the commercials and
Yeah, well, I actually, humble brag, but DraftKings sent me to this like Philadelphia 76ers gala event one time in Philly, and Bobby was there, and he's big, but it's being near him it's a whole nother level. It's just like a literal giant of a human.
Did you shake his hand?
No, unfortunately not.
That would have been the real test.
Be like, I feel like his hand is honestly bigger than my head. It's unbelievable. But him and Tobias Harris were being really funny. They were like on the stage a little bit. Just you can tell that they're just fun guys to be around. So anyways.
And apparently they're best friends. And like they were in the commercials
they were
together
great
as well.
They were getting like caricatures drawn of them. It was a good time. So that was the night I hung out with the Sixers.
I like it.
Door number 2, 23191, Ken Birch.
All right.
Canadian and a Raptor.
There we go.
He's from Montreal, actually.
Do you think I guess you're more likely to sign as a free agent with Toronto if you're a Canadian? It probably doesn't come much into play from a draft perspective. Maybe like a late second or something if you think you have like an inside information or something. But
Corey Joseph is really like the one that maybe like really wanted to come back, and he was like successful and everything, but like Canadians in general haven't, like maybe if we can steal Jamal Murray, then we can maybe like bring up this topic, but we haven't really. I guess right now we're finally getting our maybe Canadians that aren't just rotational players. We actually have some real guys, so maybe we'll see that in the next little bit. Maybe a little Canada basketball homecoming would be nice.
Yeah, I'll speak outside my wheelhouse for a minute and let TJ correct me. But I do feel like in hockey, there's like definitely some hometown discounts, especially for like Canadians that want to stay up in Canada and such. Now, granted, there's 7 Canadian hockey teams?
Yeah, way more Canadian hockey teams
Right.
for sure. Yeah, I think about 7 is right.
God, I wonder if I can name them all. That'd be a fun episode.
Once we get some, we got NBA, we got NFL Dapper coming. Once we get a little NHL action, that would be my wheelhouse. You a hockey guy, TST? Just
No, I'm
because you're Canadian doesn't mean that I should stereotype you.
I'm actually anti hockey. I think because I'm a Canadian. I'm not actually anti hockey. I'm just anti. If you grew up, in the early 2000s in Canada and was a basketball fan, all Sports Center and all those highlight shows, all they did was hockey. Basically, it would be like, okay, we're going to watch the hockey highlights for 10 minutes. We're going to talk hockey analytics for like 15 minutes. We are going to show the Raptors highlights and then the scores of the other NBA games. Then we're going to show all the hockey highlights again. And then we're going to do our top 10. And that was your sports. So I actually like the game of hockey. I just hate how it was like the only thing covered growing up when I was a huge basketball fan. Now it's much better up here and we have tons of basketball coverage, so it's okay.
It's like the Tebow effect. Like, it's not that I really dislike Tebow. It's just he's the only thing that was on my TV for like a 5-year period or something. Yeah, no. We didn't have that problem in Florida about just hockey being on the TV 24/7. Weird. I don't know.
No Panthers takes constantly.
Lightning. Well, I mean, nowadays,
Lightning.
all we do is win, except for
The Lightning are
baseball
so
right now.
good at hockey. That's a whole other thing, but they're just a really good hockey team. Okay, we're going to open a third moment here. Final one of the night. 8049.
Bobby.
Bobby.
That is a perfectly adequate pack you pulled there, TJ.
Milwaukee Bucks.
Little
Championship badge in the house.
And not too bad. Not too bad. For the playoffs, championship and playoff badge, that's good.
Pretty good. All righty. What should we give away here?
Let's see. TSC, do you want to rip one or I'll rip one?
Let me see what I have. You rip one
Okay.
and then I'll see what I got kicking around here.
Okay. Yeah, let's do a quick rip then. We're gonna make it a fun wheel. TJ, you can figure out what you want to add there. I'll take a look as well.
Check it out.
I was looking at the blog earlier. Oh yeah, we got the Milwaukee news that was announced. Got a couple friends, couple names that we recognize that won that Milwaukee tip off.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome stuff. I know we covered that on the last show, but glad to see they're doing that.
Okay, let's. Should we go with the playoff as well?
Yeah, let's do another playoff.
NBA. Okay.
Why not?
All right, here we go. All right, where we going? Same order? Go left, right?
Yeah, let's do it. Right down the line.
All right, hoping for a better. Oh, number 40?
40?
Eric?
What?
That's the lowest serial I've ever pulled, I think.
That's nice.
Wow.
It's the Canadian luck, baby.
That's a nice pull.
Yeah.
He's going to be the one to come back to the Raptors.
I think it was MB Levy was calling him for potential MVP this year. That was quite crazy, but it's probably just because Levy lives in New York. But it is what it is. I'm flabbergasted. That's a good pull. Okay, number 2. 36-7-5-8, Cameron Payne. Little sun right there. I like it. Okay.
Nice assist.
Yeah. Not too bad. All right. And third one, number 37-50, decent serial, Sterling Brown.
Sterling Brown.
I don't know much about Sterling Brown.
I don't either.
Let's see, I think it's a Top Shot debut. Yep, it is.
Yep.
All right, cool. So that's my first Sterling. I'm going to keep the 40. I will gift the Cameron Payne. So love my sons, but I will gift that.
And I'm going to gift the Ken Birch in honor of the Canadian brethren on the show tonight.
I like that. All right. Should we go wheel or TST? You got one?
I got one here.
Obviously, no pressure. Yeah.
It's up to you. Yeah, you don't.
You should be able to add it now.
I got you.
What am I gonna rip here? WNBA or locker pack?
What's the locker pack like?
It'll just be recycled.
Just recycled.
That's right. It's just like the combination of all the moments. It's
only
going to be all junk.
Yeah, it's only cool if you get like the random, one like LaMelo or whatever. So let's do the WNBA then.
Let's do WNBA. Okay. Yeah, I didn't get a birthday one either. We gifted out 50 of them, but I haven't seen any of those opened yet either. I wonder what the music is for the birthday. Do they get? There should be some kind of cool birthday.
I haven't
happy
checked on
birthday
that
song?
either.
Yeah.
I'm not going to put the music because then I can't hear anything.
Okay. Yeah.
Fine.
All right, keep it going. Beat number 40 serial. We're going low. 2708.
Tia Cooper.
What's your WNBA knowledge? Be honest.
Mine's pretty low. More, I know the players from when they were in college.
Oh, interesting.
Because I check in, and I'm a huge college basketball March Madness fan, so when I check in the women's too. But so I know most of the UConn players basically from that. But
maybe UConn, Stanford, right? Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. No, it's funny. Some of the DFS guys, like we had Adam Levitan on his show a little while back. All right, so Tiffany Hayes and some of these DFS guys have been playing like WNBA DFS like hardcore.
Sick.
And can do like comps for like, hey, this is like this NBA player and such. But no, my knowledge is definitely minimal. Tried to learn a little through this, and I'm sure we'll get a bit more familiarity. But
yeah, like the run it backs, I was super into. I don't know, like how I didn't get a pack, so I was pretty upset about that. I even opened up a ticket because I didn't know, but it was also I was teaching at the time, so I didn't get to see my queue number immediately. But I saw it like 1 minute or 2 minutes after it had started, and I was like right on the cusp. So I don't know. And that was the drop. They had the little problem where it was like you couldn't hit the buy button. So I don't know where I was at in the queue specifically. And considering I haven't heard back, I guess I was like, I don't know, the last person in that number that didn't get one. So
those take some time sometimes. I know there's definitely been some times where like someone sees a pack show up on their account like 2 months later.
So I don't have to blame my students just yet, is what you're telling me.
There you go. No, just give them a movie and wait for the next pack drop.
Thursday's movie day.
All right. Big, strong finish.
Whoa. Dejana Carrington. Layup.
I'll take the
like a lot of words at first.
Ooh, rookie.
Ooh, lots of badges. All right.
I like
Love
that.
that.
That's good enough. All right, cool.
I will give out the Tiffany Hayes.
Ooh, I like it.
All righty.
That is almost let's see, what is the number for this cereal? Yeah, 11,126 out of 11,255. That's pretty high up there. Okay.
Yeah, the 2.6 makes you seem like it's almost a perfect.
Yeah. All right. Let's get these.
Spin that wheel. All right, so we've got the Kem Birch. We've got who do we have from you, Justin? Cameron Payne.
And the one that TST just mentioned.
Tiffany Hayes.
There you go, Tiffany Hayes. Okay.
We'll go in that order.
All right. We'll do quick 3-1s. Let's spin these wheels. And let's see, it has been a snooze fest of a Monday Night Football game tonight. We got 10-3 Colts after that. Basically, first play of the game, Jonathan Taylor had a 75-yard touchdown. And winner number one is Chris McCabeard. McCabeard.
Chris McCabeard.
All right. Congratulations, Chris. Sorry for butchering your name. In exchange for that, TJ will gift you the moment.
Send us a DM on Twitter at Own the Moment NFT, please. That's the best way to get a hold of us.
Yes.
On to the next one here.
For the Cameron Payne.
So you're not a big NFL guy, TST, being from Canada? Or
no.
what's your stance there?
I'm a big NFL guy.
Nice.
I don't watch CFL. I only watch NFL.
Buffalo, or do you have a team?
So
Jose.
Jose. NFL, I had the hardest time because, there wasn't really a team. I went to a couple Bills tailgates and games. So I was kind of like the Bills for a little bit. When I was like 11 or 12 or so, the Chiefs had Dante Hall as a return man, and they started off like 10-0 that year. So I liked the Chiefs for a while. And then my roommate in university was from Kansas City that I lived with for 4 years. So I became a Chiefs fan. Then they drafted a guy from McGill. And then now I get to actually have a reason to jump on the Mahomes bandwagon. And there's nothing I hate more than fans that jump around. So the fact that I have a reason to actually say I'm a Chiefs fan, other than just that they're winning right now, makes me happy enough.
Laurent Duvernay Tardif?
That's Tardif.
Tardif. Okay.
Laurent. They call him Larry down there because there's no way they're getting that.
Kansas City, keep it simple.
That makes sense.
Great guy.
All right,
great
let's
guy.
spin the final wheel here.
Nice. McGill, good school. Got some friends that went there. All right, final one for Tiffany Hayes. Let's see. Spinning. Stan loves a regular.
Dan loves Tiffany. Let's go.
There you go. Congratulations, Stan. Congratulations,
Tiffany.
Jose. Congratulations to the one who won the first one, Chris McBeard.
McAbeard. McAbeard. Congrats to the winners. Send us a DM. We will make sure that we gift you on over those moments.
All right. We got two quick things. I know we're running over. We'll make it really fast. One is we have already announced it, but the big news. So coming up in now 3 weeks from now, we will not be having an OTM show because we will be live in New York City at the Tap House for the OTM, the TOC event. Food, drinks, sponsored by Prize Picks before the Monday Night Football game with the Giants playing, kicking off NFT NYC. Going to be a blast. If you are a current member in the Owners Club, you have early invitation access, or go to the TOC events channel. For anyone not in the Owners Club but still interested, keep an eye on the OTM Discord. We will then be giving next level of invites to the OTM Discord. And if you are not in the OTM Discord, well, you should just join it. But if not, we'll then open to the public if there are still spots available after the TOC and OTM Discord have their first right of refusals. So that's going to be fun. And then second thing is next Monday, we have a great, really exciting show coming up. There is a new, basically a new NFT venture that we're going to help introduce, which gives you an ability to actually, trying to think of the right word I can use, because you have the ability, because there's a financial word that I cannot use. You have the ability to basically buy into a player's career early on in their career and get opportunities to then get their NFTs throughout their entire career. So it's a way to really make a bet on a player. If you think, hey, that player has the opportunity to blow up, you get the opportunity to really buy into them through NFTs before they even have like a rookie card in the NBA. So very cool opportunity we'll dive into next Monday. Yes, somebody might have mentioned the word in chat. I just cannot use that word because that is not what we are doing. We are just, buying collectibles and have the opportunity to buy more collectibles if that player does really well in their career. I'm excited. That should be a fun show.
Love it. So lots coming to you over the next couple of weeks. We'll, of course, be back on Wednesday night for the Owners Club Strategy Show. TST, final words for the people. Of course, let them know where they can find you as well.
Yeah, just thanks for having me on the show. It was a great time. You can find me on Twitter at NBA Top Shot Talk, and most of my content is on YouTube. The channel is NBA Top Shot Talk, and you can check me out there. Feel free to ever reach out, Discord, Twitter, whatever, DMs. Got any questions? I love talking Top Shot with anyone, and thanks again for having me.
Yeah, thanks for joining the show. Awesome guest tonight. And I'm sure we'll be in touch as we kick off this new Series 3 of Top Shot in the near future. So that's going to do it for the night. On behalf of Justin, on behalf of Top Shot Talk, and of course, producer Scoop behind the scenes, I'm TJ Lasig. We'll see you guys next time.